Good evening and welcome to the November 9th, 2015 meeting of the Florissant City Council. As we begin our proceedings this evening, I would ask you to stand and join the council and myself in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Pagano?
Here.
Schmidt?
Here.
Siam? Here. Lee?
Here.
Jones?
Here.
Egan?
Here.
Caputa? Here. Shildra?
Here.
Henke?
Here. Let the record reflect that a quorum is present. Item number 3 on the agenda. Mr. Lee makes a motion for approval of the meeting minutes for October 26, 2015, and the budget meeting minutes for October 17, 2015. That is seconded by Mr. Siam. Is there any discussion over the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And the meeting minutes shall be approved. Item number 4, hearing from citizens. Now is a portion of the meeting where if you would like to address the council, you have that opportunity to do so. This is not a question and answer period. I would also ask that you take a moment and fill out a yellow-colored speaker's card located on the table next to the entrance of the chambers. You'll pass that to Mr. Hesselhill, forward to our attention. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the council as they wish. Rita Powers. Good evening, Ms. Powers. If you'd be so kind as to give us your name and your home address, I'd appreciate it.
Rita Powers, 110 Seville Court.
You may proceed, ma'am.
I have come before this council many times with this concern. I live right behind the Walmart property. I was present when this council was given okay for the property for Walmart to build there. They stated that everything would be fine at the end of this property. The end of the property is where I live. Come visit it today. I had concerns about my home at this time. Now my fears have come true. My backyard is subsiding. Mr. Jones told me it might not be because of Walmart. I had a structural and geological engineer come out, and they were able to walk behind the white fence. If you take time and walk behind the white fence, you will see that there are many, many things that tell you that the land is subsiding. Someone and said that someone is monitoring this land right behind my house. I could look out my kitchen window and every day see people back there doing something with monitoring. I don't know if anybody in Florissant is aware of the monitoring, but I would like to know what is happening in my backyard. I believe my property has been affected by the long moving of dirt. I have often asked, is there springs back there? Apparently, it might be the case. They have put up temporary fence. Now my thing is concaving. Is my property safe? How much closer will it come to my foundation? I think if this was one of your homes, you would want someone to tell you what is happening. Who is responsible for the subsidence? Is it Walmart? Is it the construction people? Someone must be responsible. I need to get this matter resolved, no matter how confidential it is. It seems like when you talk to Walmart, it's very confidential. But if this was happening on private property in your neighborhood, you would want to know what is happening to your property. Please take a ride down Seville and see also how blinding the lights are. It looks like you are going into Busch Stadium. That's how blinding the lights are.
Thank you, Ms. Powers. Todd Allen Signs. Good evening, Mr. Signs. If you state your name and your home address for the record, I would appreciate it.
Todd Allen Signs, 1125 Boulder Drive.
Will you be so kind as to speak right into that mic, sir? Thank you very much.
Todd Allen Signs, 1125 Boulder Drive.
You may proceed.
Thank you. I'm here today. I'm a neighborhood watch captain for Ward 2, also a CERT member, Community Emergency Response Team member for Florissant for Ward 2. This holiday season, I'm going to be Santa Claus for Shriners Hospital for the sick boys and girls. I'm here to get your support to donate toys or money are always welcome. Just let's all help put smiles on the sick children's faces at Shriners Hospital this holiday season.
How do people get a hold of you, Mr. Signs?
I'm sorry?
How can people get a hold of you if they have donations for you?
913-5616.
913-5616? All right, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Next item on the agenda, communications. There are no communications. Item number 6, public hearings. Public hearing 1510-025. I make a motion to reopen the public hearing. That motion is made by, that motion is seconded by Mr. Siam. Any discussion? Ms. Pagano?
Yes, I would like to continue this. I have not talked to Mr. Felix yet. I don't know if he's still, making plans for this property. So I would like to continue it until the next meeting.
Ms. Pagano makes a motion to continue the public hearing until 11/23/15. That is seconded. Mr. Lee, excuse me.
Yeah, I would just recommend we see if anyone that's here for the public hearing wanted to comment before we continue it.
Very good. That is seconded by Mr. Schmidt. Before we take a vote on that, is there anyone who is present that would like to make a comment regarding the continuance of this public hearing? Seeing none, all in favor of continuing the public hearing until 11/23/15? Aye. Opposed? The meeting shall be continued, or the hearing shall be continued. Item 7, old business. Ordinance 9136, Mr. Siam makes a motion for a second reading. That is seconded by Mr. Hinkie. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please read the bill a second time.
Ordinance authorizing a special use permit to New York Grill Incorporated, DBA New York Grill, to allow for the location and operation of a carry-out restaurant for the property located at 540 North Highway 67.
Mr. Hinkie makes a motion for a third reading. That is seconded by Mr. Hinkie, by Mr. Shildroff. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please read the bill for a third time.
Ordinance authorizing a special use permit to New York Grill Incorporated, DBA New York Grill, to allow for the location and operation of a carry-out restaurant for the property located at 540 North Highway 67.
Prior to a final vote being taken on this bill, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Siam? Lee?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
Hanky?
Yes.
Bill 9136 passes and becomes ordinance 8179, 8179. Item number 8, new business. Board appointments. Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to appoint Larry Link to the Senior Commission, and he's from Ward 7, and also Diane Shane from Ward 5 to the Senior Commission.
Mr. Shawup makes that motion for those appointments. It's seconded by Mr. Jones. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
The appointments shall be made. I would like to appoint Tanine Hinton to the Citizens Participation Committee to extend her appointment from number 210 Gerald to the Citizens Participation Committee. That motion is made by Ms. Pagano and seconded by Mr. Schmidt. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The appointment shall be made. I'd also like to reappoint Judy Husky of 1485 Keven to the Citizens Participation Committee. That motion is made by Mr. Kabuta and seconded by Mr. Lee. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The appointment shall be made. Request 983.
Resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to make application under the Municipal Parks Grant for planning services and at Mannion Park for an inclusive playground.
Ms. Pagano makes a motion for a second reading of this resolution. That is seconded by Mr. Jones. Is there any discussion? Mr. Schmidt.
I have a question on it. We're submitting a grant for just the planning of this park?
I would make a motion to suspend the rules and invite Mr. Schmidt to address the council. As seconded by Mr. Schildroff. Is there any discussion on the suspension of the rules? See, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Mr. Schmidt, if you would like to, Mr. Schmidt, if you want to come up here and address that issue for Mr. Schmidt.
Yeah.
And all of us.
No relation.
Good evening. Council President, Mr. Regan, council members, Mayor. I guess for the record, my name is Todd Schmidt, Director of the Florissant Parks and Recreation Department. I did show up in attendance in case there were some questions, because actually this is the first time that we have applied for what is called a planning grant. This is the resolution that you have before you is actually a requirement from the St. Louis County Municipal Park Grant Commission, and it's basically authorizing the city to enter into an agreement to have a specialist come in and design an architectural plan for an upcoming construction project. So what this resolution is basically a request for a planning grant. Through the commission, it is an 80-20% reimbursement up to $6,400. We are requesting $8,000 in this upcoming budget, of which the commission will reimburse the city $6,400, 80% of it. So basically what this is a planning grant for a project that we will look to apply for come August of 2016 to construct an inclusive playground at Mannion Park. So this is just getting some services and a design and architectural plan.
That clears it up for me. I just was, when I first saw it, it was just odd that we were applying for a planning grant.
It's a planning
I've never
grant,
seen it.
right.
Okay.
And this is the first time the city has
Yeah.
applied for this type of grant.
Is there any other discussion? Mr. Caputa?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Schmidt, is this handicap playground for, is it handicap accessible?
That's
Is this-
exactly what this is. It's an all-inclusive and fully accessible playground. There's several of them throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. This would be the first in the North County area that we're hoping to get.
Good. Thank you.
There's a motion on the floor for the reading of the resolution, second reading of the resolution, seconded by Mr. Shildroff. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please read the resolution for a second time.
Resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to make application under the Missouri Parks Grant for planning services at Mannion Park for an inclusive playground.
Mr. Jones makes a motion for a third reading. That is seconded by Mr. Schmidt. Is there any discussion? All in favor of a third reading, roll call vote, please.
Pagano?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Siam? Yes. Lee?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
Hanky?
Yes.
Please read the bill a third time. Or the
Resolution,
motion.
resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to make application under Missouri Parks, Municipal Park Grants for planning services at Mannion Park for inclusive playground.
Prior to a final vote being taken on this resolution, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Siam? Lee?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
Hanky?
Yes.
Resolution 983 passes. Item number 9, bills for first reading. Bill 9137.
Ordinance adopting the budget for the city of Florissant for the fiscal year commencing December 1st, 2015, and ending on November 30th, 2016, and providing for its effective date, sorry.
Bill 9138.
Ordinance amending Chapter 240, Emergency Management, subsection 240-101, establishment of the Florissant City Code by adding a provision for a temporary commissioner.
Bill 9139.
Ordinance repealing ordinance number 7929 and 7966, establishing a new compensation plan for part-time employees of the city of Florissant and containing its effective date clause.
Bill 9140.
Ordinance repealing ordinance numbers 7928, 8106, and 8014, which establish the compensation plan for the seasonal part-time employees of the city of Florissant and containing its effective date clause.
Bill 9141.
Ordinance authorizing a transfer of $15,000 from account number 4055, insurance, fire, and liability, to account number 4023, postage and printing, to cover anticipated shortfall in postage for the balance of the fiscal year.
Bill 9142.
Ordinance to amend Title II, Chapter 245, Parks and Recreation of the Florissant City Code, Section 245180, fees for use, by deleting the section in its entirety and replacing it with a new section.
Next item on the agenda, council announcements. Mr. Henke.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just want to thank everyone that turned out for the Veterans Day parade we had yesterday. It was a beautiful day. It was a great parade, and I can't stress enough the thanks that I'm sure you're going to be echoed by other council members and the mayor, the thanks that we have to give our veterans. Don't forget, day after tomorrow is actual Veterans Day, so go out of your way to thank a veteran for the services they gave to our country. Thanks.
Mr. Caputa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I have a few things to speak on tonight. First thing, I'd like to warn the people of this, people Ward 4 and the citizens of Florissant about there's a scam going around with a concrete contractor. They go door to door, knock on, give you a cheap price for a driveway and do substandard work and want to get paid right away, and they don't do good work. So be aware of that with these scams on this contract. They're targeting the elderly, so be aware of that. If you have any questions, call the police department, call the senior department at City Hall and get some information on it. Call the Better Business Bureau, get some information on them, so you don't fall to this scam. Another thing, I would like to wish all the veterans out there a happy Veterans Day coming up Wednesday. And also, tomorrow is the United States Marine Corps' birthday, 240 years old. Have to wish all the Marines out there a happy birthday. Just recently, the Navy just had their so-called 240th birthday. That's why the Marines came about, because the Navy needed protection on their ships. So, but other than that, like I said, I wish everybody happy Veterans Day, and thank you.
Mr. Jones.
I'd like to bring up team again, as usual, you guys. There's always somebody hungry, morning, noon, and night. If anybody's got a couple extra bucks in their pocket, a couple extra canned goods in the pantry, it'd be appreciated you guys could bring that up. I'd also like to bring up the proposition that we just passed in the city of Florissant. I would like to thank all the citizens that came out to vote. I would especially like to reach out to my guys in Ward 2 and thank them for having my back on this. I worked very hard on this to get this passed for the betterment of this city. I'd just like to say a big thank you to you guys out there. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Mr. Shildroff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to echo and jump on Mr. Jones's comments. November 3rd was a very important day in the history of our city. I'd like to thank the citizens who voted for Prop S. 9 people and the mayor and a lot of people in the background really got the vote out and worked very hard for this. About 6 or 7 months ago, the mayor challenged a committee comprised of Mr. Lee, Mr. Caputa, and myself, and I couldn't have asked for 2 better partners to find a way to fix our streets. Mr. Lee is a master at coming up with different ideas of how to fund things in the best way. Mr. Caputa is an expert in the technical field as a cement mason. So we had the perfect group, and I want to thank them for their hard work. Mr. Jones really worked hard on getting the word out. The rest of us did too. Mr. Siam did with the website and social media. A lot of people helped fund our campaign. Ms. Pagano and Chief Lowry, former Mayor Lowry, Grace Sykin, and we really worked hard on this, and I think it showed by the 2-to-1 margin. Mr. Lee and I were talking about that night. That's a really odd thing to have a tax increase on a 2-to-1 margin. It's almost unheard of. And I think you can thank the people who worked on it, this council, this administration, and the business community, labor, everybody got together, and I think you're going to see the results. And I couldn't be prouder to be behind this. I want to say thank you to everyone. There's a major construction project going on right now on St. Ferdinand by Harrison and St. Marie, and Bates Utilities has got the contract. It's an MSD, emergency sanitary sewer line repair, and it's going to take about 2 months. I've been working with our city engineer, and if the weather goes right, that project should be wrapped up in 2 months. He has had a good working relationship with Bates Utilities, so I am hoping for the best, and please be patient while driving on St. Ferdinand. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a new store in town, Dollar Tree on Graham Road, and I welcome them to Ward 5 in the Florissant. 2 weeks ago, I was there on their first day of business, and I'm glad I'm there. I'm glad they're there instead of another possible business that the mayor and I and Mr. Hessel fought to keep out, so I'm very happy about that. I want to thank all the veterans who came out yesterday. We had a great parade. I want to congratulate Mr. Pat Stinnett on his Veteran of the Year honor. And I would like to thank Mr. Mayor for your service and Mr. Caputa for your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shildroff. Mr. Hinkie.
Councilman Caputa reminded me of he talked about the scam, the concrete scam. There's another thing. Just be aware, anybody that's coming to your door to knock on your door and sell you goods and services, be very aware. Be very cognizant of what's going on, because sometimes people are just out there casing properties. Don't let them in your house if you don't feel comfortable, and if it doesn't look right, call the police. There's nothing right. If they're legitimate, there's no problem with calling the police. If they're not, it's going to move them on real quick. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hanky. And if that person's elected official, be particularly wary. All right. I want to wish all the veterans a very happy Veterans Day today, tomorrow. No, 2 days from now. 11. What? I'm a day off. I'm the son of a sailor and the son of a son of a sailor, so the veterans are very important to me and my family. I thank those on the dais for their service to the country. Night before Thanksgiving is the Metro Boxing Showdown. Guns and Hoses. I'm selling tickets again, as I spoke last time. My daughter is competing is training for this competition, and we're very hopeful that she gets a fight. We won't know until the very last minute. Hopefully, the next time we meet here, I'll have that announcement, and she gets a fight. Tickets are $35 a piece. If anyone wants any tickets, get a hold of me. I'm on the web here, or you can call me at 395-6838. And as always, go blue, go guns. Your Honor?
Thank you, Mr. Regan. You know, I was an elected official in 1981 when we passed the Fight Crime for a Dime tax to build a new police station. And it hasn't been since that time that I felt the city really came together the way it did last Tuesday. And I couldn't be prouder of the city council and to the citizens that got out and voted and supported this and talked about it and talked it up and discussed it in public. I couldn't be more proud of everyone. It was an honor to be a member of such a noble assembly of many different people working hard for progress in Florissant. And grateful for your hard work and tireless campaigning. And with the passage of Proposition S, Florissant will continue to be the leader of North County and one of the most beautiful cities in the entire metropolitan area. So I think we've collected them all, but for last week you had these signs up that said, thank you. We pasted on the yard signs out in the city, and we really do mean it. We thank you very much for your support. 2/3, that was amazing. That exceeded our expectations, obviously. It's hardly ever done. Most of the other communities that had ballot measures didn't do quite so well, and sometimes some of them lost about, but they were the flip of ours. Mr. Sam did another outstanding job with the weather yesterday for the Veterans Day Parade. We appreciate that. It was a beautiful day, calm and sunny, and appreciate everyone that participated in it and helped to organize it. We're a very faith-based, patriotic community, and it's just an honor to serve the mayor of a city like this. Now, Wednesday on Veterans Day, you know, Veterans Day started right after World War I. It started as Armistice Day, and Armistice Day was 11th hour, the 11th month of the 11th day of November. And that's when the shooting stopped in World War I, which was a very horrendously bloody war. And everybody was so glad to be done with it that they celebrated Armistice Day ever since. In the United States, it became Veterans Day. But on Wednesday, at the Vietnam Memorial, we've chosen that day to dedicate the plaque that the Vietnam Veterans Association donated to the city, and they asked that it be erected at the Vietnam Memorial. So we have a separate stand for it. It's at the same location at the obelisk, and we'll have a brief ceremony at 11 a.m. This is the 98th anniversary of the end of hostilities of World War I. The Florissant Historic Treasures is a tape that was made. It was they had a grand showing of it at the theater on October 27th and 28th at the Egan Center Theater, and it was done with a grant, and it showcases the Florissant Historic District landmarks. It's very, very well done, very tastefully done, with interviews from many of the people that have preserved our history throughout the years and today, and with a story behind most of the historic treasures that are protected by our Historic Landmark Commission. And so we're very, very proud of our heritage, our long history, and this DVD for $10, it's a great investment so that you can share the heritage of the great deep history of Florissant with every generation in your family. I'd like to congratulate Tony Maldonado. He was the recipient of the Hispanic Businessman of the Year at a ceremony that I went to recently. And he was a very active citizen in the city of Florissant, where we appreciate all his efforts for us, but he's also appreciated by the metropolitan area Hispanic community for all he does in that greater metropolitan area. We had another Halloween event on Halloween night up at the Yegan Center that was well attended by Florissant residents. And I was able to, we had a congratulations to former Mayor's Secretary Rosemary Maddock, who turned 100 years old, and Cheryl Entwistle, my current secretary, and I gave her a memento of her century anniversary. So congratulations to her. And we have great longevity in this town. More serious note, last week we had the Medal of Valor ceremony, and 3 of our officers were honored with the Medal of Valor. Officers Amel Topsagic, Eric Schluter, and Steve Beekman. They received a call for a house fire where a man had barricaded himself inside with the intention of committing suicide. And after the officers arrived and found the home burning, the fire department made entry and forced the bedroom door open. At this time, a gunshot was heard. Unsure of the man's intent, but knowing that they must take action to save him, the officers entered the room, located the man in the smoke. The officers quickly detained the man and removed him from the house. Officers later discovered the man's gun in the bedroom. The officers were able to save the man from the burning house and get him the proper medical and psychiatric attention that he needed. So congratulations to these officers. They are the latest in a long line of recipients of the Medal of Honor, including our civilian honoree, John Hessel, here tonight. On our website, I have a comment on the monitoring of the Bridgeton Westlake landfills that you can see on our city website. I'm not going to read it here tonight, but my city engineer, Tim Barrett, and I have been monitoring it. We've attended a lot of meetings, the council has attended meetings, and we are on top of this situation as much as we possibly can be. This is important. If you have some letters from Santa that you would like to get a reply from, you could drop off your request, the name of the recipient that you have, care of John F. Kennedy Center at 315 Hottershell, Florissant, Missouri, and we'll get it right to the North Pole so that we can get your child an answer. Project Liftoff, number, 27. This is the drug and alcohol-free event and holiday. This started the holiday events. We have 4 of them now. We have Halloween, Project Liftoff at Christmas time, and then we have an ice skating one in the spring, and Splish Splash Summer Bash for 5th through 8th grade DARE-age children to promote the ideals of DARE. And this one is going to be on December 5th from 6:30 to 9:30, and that's right after we're going to do the tree lighting here at City Hall, probably about 5:45. Got winter break camp, December 21st to December 28th. This is going to be fun and games activities. This camp will be similar to a summer playground during the Christmas break for parents that have to work. So you could call either the JFK Center or the Egan Center for that service. That's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
The next meeting of the Florissant City Council will be November 23rd, 2015 at 7 p.m. Mr. Caputa moves for adjournment. That is seconded by Mr. Schmidt. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The council shall stand adjourned.